Hey there everyone, and welcome to the UkeAssist channel and welcome to this discussion of this device. This is the UkeAssist. It's sold by Housecat. You can find it online. It's been around for a couple of years, but it first started popping up in my social media feeds not too long ago, and I decided to obtain one. Now, if you want to buy one of these, they sell them pre-made for $54.95. That's quite a bit for a adaptive chord changer. They also sell the 3D printing STL file for $12. So that's what I did. Now, it's been a learning process for me. I'm new to 3D printing, although I've had a 3D printer for a while. Our school just purchased a Bambu Labs P2S 3D printer, and I've been working with that a lot. It lives in my office, and I'm the one that does the projects that it's used for. I've done a video about a couple of the prints that I've done recently, and this made a lot of sense. So I printed it, and then it didn't work, and I didn't understand what was going on, and then I learned some more about 3D printing. There are different materials you can print with, and one of the materials that we often use is PLA. It's the cheapest, it's the most commonly used, it's a little brittle, it's hard, and it can be used for a number of applications. There are some tougher filaments, and then there are also some other like flexible filaments, and one of those filaments is TPU. This is the main plate that needs to be printed in TPU for this device, and as you can see, it's totally bendable because it's made out of plastic that is flexible rather than plastic that is hard. And it took a little while for me to figure out how to print with that. I had to buy a special nozzle, a larger nozzle for that sort of filament. I had to print a special spool holder that could hang on the side of the P2S so that I could print to it direct to the printhead, because you run TPU right to the top of the Bambu printhead. You don't run it through the feeder. I had to learn how to dry out filament using the AMS2 Pro that came with our Bambu printer. So I was drying out filament for a good 14 hours before I used it. And then just how to change the settings on the printer. That might be very basic for some 3D printers, but if you're new, you don't know what you don't know until you know it. So now I know it, and I actually printed 3 of these so we could have them. The other parts were all just printed with standard PLA earlier, and it took me a while to figure out how to do the TPU. And in fact, I did a couple of things. I even sourced out from a local company how much it would cost to print 3 of these, and they quoted me $47 just to print 3 of those. And then I contacted a 3D printing club here in the Twin Cities, and they got back to me and were happy to do it. But after I started learning what I needed to do, I didn't need to use their services because I could actually figure it out. So basically, it comes in pieces, you sort of assemble it, you print the buttons whatever colors you want to print them as, and you get the C chord, the G chord, the A minor chord, the F chord, and the C7. And it sort of just all sticks together. And you also buy the Velcro straps. It's a 6-inch standard cable holder that you can buy off of Amazon or wherever else as well. And this is what it sounds like. Here's the C chord. How about the F chord? G chord, A minor, and then the C7. That sounded like a C major 7 because it's slipped down a little bit. There we go. C7, not the C major 7. And as you can see, you're sort of limited by the design of the device in both the option of the chords that you're getting and then its stability here on the instrument. It does slide down. It might separate a little bit. The pieces might fall off if you don't glue them on, which I might do eventually. But they are huge buttons, and they're super easy to press. Of all the chord changers, and we're going to look at those in just a second, of all the chord changers, this is the easiest to play. And this was designed by a teacher. And in the teacher's own design of this, he was showing how he had a student with a limb difference that was playing ukulele, putting the ukulele down like this, and playing with her arm because I believe she doesn't have the hand. So she's playing with her arm and hitting the right button. How wonderful. And none of the other chord changers are going to work for that. I looked online for some feedback on the video because it's been out for a couple of years, and the comments that people are saying are insane. People that are like, just learn the chords, and I hate chord changers and things like that. And if you're saying those things, you don't get what this is for. This is an assistive device. This isn't for somebody who's lazy that doesn't want to learn the chords, though it could be used that way. This is used to help people, and especially kids, who want to play ukulele like every other kid that's learning ukulele, but needs assistance. They also sell some oversized picks at the website. I'll make sure that website appears in the description below. Now, at $54.95, that's kind of pricey, I have to admit. $12 for the 3D print model is very affordable. But again, I did have extra costs in buying the TPU. It's 95 TPU, it's standard, so I think that was about $10 for a small roll. I had to buy a different nozzle, and I ended up buying a whole set of nozzles for like $24. So already we're up to $34 there. And then had to buy the straps, the cable straps. I think those were another $10 or so. So I went to $44 already. So if I'm honest, I probably spent as much collectively buying the things I needed to make this than I would have just buying one off the shelf. I did reach out and ask them if they'd send me one for review, and I didn't hear back from them. No ill will, but I did ask for that because, again, I would have liked to have tested it out. Now, what makes it a little unique on the back here, I'm trying to get, oh, it's still kind of connected here, there we go, is it has these two pieces that sort of just slide in and out that kind of guide to where it needs to be, and the buttons just sort of rest on that TPU layer. It all comes apart, so I can take it all apart right here. I'm not going to put it back together on this video, but all the buttons come off. So, for example, if you didn't want it to have the C7, some teachers only teach F and C7 in schools because they're easy chords to switch. So if you wanted those just for your students, you could put the F and C7 buttons on there. Otherwise, it all just sort of comes apart. So you've got those two parts there, and then additionally, you have sort of the hard layer, and I suppose that could be made out of an even stronger plastic than PLA, and then your TPU layer, and then there's one other little part that clicks on here that just helps it when you press down to stay on the fretboard and not touch the fretboard. I think it's a good design. I like it. I like that it's available cheap for a STL file that you can print yourself, and I also like how it works with the big buttons. Now let's take a look at some of the other chord changers that I have, just so you can compare them. In the category of oldest design, we have the UkeChordChanger.com, and all these are really intended for soprano ukulele. And on this one, you put it up to the top, and then there's sort of this rubber bandy thing that attaches. And then you can press any of the buttons, and they're round buttons that are a little hard to press. There's some spring action loaded there, whereas the UkeAssist is all the TPU just bouncing back to its shape. But you've got your C chord, F chord, D7 chord, G7 chord, C7 chord, A7 chord, G chord, and D chord. So realistically, you can play songs both in the key of C and the key of G. It's a little tricky in some cases without an A minor chord. Now, one of my early complaints about this, beyond the buttons that are hard to press, the round buttons not feeling really so good on the fingers, is that the company reached out to me and said, well, you can combine buttons to play other chords. No teacher I know is doing that. If the button doesn't say what the chord is and you can't press one button, make it happen, it's not happening. So I know you can do other things with these buttons to get other approximated chords, but nope, not using that. Without A minor, a little difficult to use in schools, and again, not that comfortable to press. The next one is a more recent purchase. It's this device here, and it doesn't have any letter names on it. I suppose you could try to write letter names on there, but there's a color format that you have to press certain colors down to get the chords. So C is red, F would be greens, and E minor would be yellows. A G7 would be some combination here. I'm not sure what they've got going. Not sure what they all are. I'd have to go through and check it out. But again, without letter names, dealing with young students, really not going to work for you. Does the device work? Sure, but not very applicable. And then the one that I like best and have recommended the most over time is this one. It's all over Amazon with different names from time to time. What I like about this one is it has square buttons, which are easy to press, and it has your standard chords in the key of C. So you've got C, G, F, A minor, G7, D minor, and E minor 7. It very much does the same thing, that spring-loaded attachment to the top of your fretboard, and then C chord, F chord, G chord, E minor 7, G7, D minor, and A minor. And one of the things I like about this one is if I have students that, for example, lose a limb for a while, had a lot of broken arms and hands one year, they can use one of these for quite a while and still make music with their classes. And to this date, this has been the one that I would recommend the most. Now, I would also now recommend this UkeAssist mainly because of the easy to press buttons. So if you have a kid who's really struggling with the ability to press down buttons, this is better than, for example, the Uke chord changer in just overall feel and struggle of pressing buttons. But when you're using this button on the C chord, it is so much more comfortable to play. So I would recommend the OK Housecat UkeAssist. Again, I think that if you buy it from them, it's a little overpriced for what it should be, but that STL file for $12 is definitely worth getting. And if you have a parent that 3D prints or something like that, you could produce a number of these for your kids to use if they need them. All right, before I go, might as well just reassemble it just to show you how it's done. So I've got the TPU layer here. These are the sides that press down the strings. So everything has to sort of go on top of that. The C is the easiest one to start with because it's right next to you. Again, I'd like to see if I can super glue that perhaps on there. I'm not sure how TPU reacts with super glue at this time, so I don't want to do that yet until I know. And then you can do any combination. The G chord and all the buttons here sort of align with what you see on the letter names. So the letter names sort of align with things. So they all go the same way. So you got C and G, and then we've got our F chord up here, like that. So we got C, G, and F. So if you're going to just teach C, G, and F, you'd be good shape with just those. We've got our A minor chord down here, and it just lines in like that. And then we've got the added C7, which again, I don't know how useful it is. I don't do a lot of play-alongs with my students with F and C7 because that's not the key that we're learning. And then we need the frame. And remember, the frame has this little extra piece that you print that goes in to hold it up. And what I've found is then you want to assemble the whole outer frame first, and you sort of just squish it together, and that comes together like that. So then it's getting the two sides, and I get one of them ready to go. So I use the one sort of on the right hand or A string side, and I put that in first. And I suppose you could glue one of those in. I don't think you want to glue both of those in, and I'll show you why in a second. But then that piece is going to go way up and sort of lock in on the top of the instrument there, like that. And then you take your other piece, and that gets pushed in, and then that's also going to sit at the top of the instrument underneath the nut so that you're good to go there. So that's level. And then you take your Velcro strap around the back, and you attach it, and try to make it as tight as you can with what you got there. And then you've got your it's the easiest one to press out of all the chord changers. So kudos there. And I know that I have one student coming up in a couple of years that's going to very much need this. So my next challenge is, can I glue those buttons on? And that's what I'll be looking up, quite honestly, after I'm done making this video today. All right, so there you have it. UkeAssist by Housecat. Definitely recommended. Still also recommend this unbranded, unnamed one that you can find all over Amazon with the square buttons. Avoid this one. This is the one you want to get for schools. And this is also very good if you have a student that doesn't have the force to press down those buttons. They can do that with these giant buttons and that TPU as the bounce back device. All right, thank you so much for joining me for this video. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll be back soon with some more Uke stuff for you.